And shalom, shalom. Welcome, welcome. This is Cover to Cover with Jeremy Pyers. And welcome all, welcome all. Welcome Mindy, Alyssa, Chris, my fellow Ginger Hebrew. Amazing. I love it. Anyway, so welcome to part one of the reading of the Book of Enoch. And I'm going to dive into a lot of stuff, actually. So, pretty much right off the bat, I got a little bit of history of the Book of Enoch. And also, it's going to compare some passages that Messiah himself quoted directly from the Book of Enoch. That alone, in itself, should say what this book is. If Messiah quoted it several times, think about that one. Anyway, welcome all, welcome. And let's get into it here. So, excuse me. So, this one is just like I was explaining. I already shared a little bit of this on Facebook, but we're going to dive into it right here so everyone can experience and listen. Alright, so history of the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch was once cherished by Jews and Christians alike. It is read in certain Coptic Christian churches in Ethiopia. 3 versions of the Book of Enoch exist today. Excuse me. So this is actually from, what is it? The Scroll of the Giants book from the, it's from the Qumran Scrolls, but it also has the Book of Enoch in it as well. The Scroll of Giants book is basically the Book of Enoch from the fallen angel's perspective. It's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a lot missing. I was thinking about reading it on here as well, but I mean, there's so much missing, it's kind of all over the place. But this is from that book. My apologies for my voice, it's a little bit scratchy today. Alright, so most scholars date the Book of Enoch, also called First Enoch, to sometime during the 2nd century BC. We do not know what earlier oral tradition, or if any, the book contains. Enoch was considered inspired and authentic by certain Jewish sects of the 1st century BC, and remained popular for at least 500 years. And if you guys know about all the history of all that, yeah. The earliest Ethiopian text was apparently derived from a Greek manuscript of the Book of Enoch, which itself was a copy of an earlier text. The original was apparently written in the Semitic language, now thought to be Aramaic. Excuse me. The Book of Enoch was discovered in the 18th century. It was assumed to have been penned after beginning of the Christian era. I think there's supposed to be a "the" in there somewhere. This theory was based on the fact that it had quotes and paraphrases as well as concepts found in the New Testament. Thus, it was assumed that it was heavily influenced by writers such as Jude and Peter. However, recent discoveries of copies of the book amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls found at Qumran prove the book was in existence before the time of our Messiah Yahusha. These scrolls forced a closer look and reconsideration. It became obvious that the New Testament did not influence the Book of Enoch, but on the contrary, the Book of Enoch influenced the New Testament. The date of the original writing upon which the 2nd century BC Qumran copies were based is shrouded in obscurity. Likewise, lost are the sources of the oral traditions that came to be the Book of Enoch. Slowly, over the past 60 years, we have unraveled some of the mysteries. So if you watched my video series about the calendar, and you would know I agree with that brother's opinion that it wasn't the Essenes that made these scrolls. It was the true Zadokite priests that wrote them. But they don't want you knowing that, so they had to give some made-up Essene to ascribe it to, who aren't even described in scriptures anywhere. Anyway. It has been largely the opinion of historians that the book does not really contain the authentic words of the ancient Enoch, since he would have lived several thousand years earlier than the first known appearance of the book attributed to him. However, the first century Christians accepted the Book of Enoch as inspired, if not authentic. They relied on it to understand the origin and purpose of many things, from angels to wind, sun, and stars. In fact, many of the key concepts used by Yahusha himself seem directly connected to terms and ideas in the Book of Enoch. So, this is this guy's opinion that he's writing down here. And the theories regarding the authenticity of Enoch vary widely. Some believe Enoch is Midrash, that is, an elaboration on a biblical story. In this case, it is suggested that Enoch expands Genesis chapter 6. And exactly. And it expands more than that as well. Another, more controversial theory has Enoch predating the Genesis story. Like the Book of Enoch, Genesis seems to have several authors, with stories intertwined. One of these authors is known simply as P, owing to the fact he thought it was to be a priest, or he was thought to be a priest. If we compare the P contribution of Genesis to the Book of Enoch, parallels leap out. Yes, exactly. So these are just a couple parallels here. And I also believe the Book of Enoch was out before Genesis. I believed it was also passed down orally, just like the Torah was, before it was written down for Moses on the tablets, which we've gone over this on my channel. But anyway, so Enoch corrupt earth. And Genesis 6, humans way corrupt on the earth. And Enoch eating animals. Genesis, same thing in Genesis 9. Bloodshed, same thing in Genesis 9. 364-day year and 30-day months in Genesis 7. 12 months times 30 plus 4. 365-day year, Genesis 5. So we've been over Jubilees and all this, so we know it's 364 days. But it takes 365 days for the sun to complete its cycle. Which is why intercalation is a must. Enoch goes to heaven, and Enoch goes to heaven in Genesis 5. There are other connections. The name Azazel appears in Leviticus. The scapegoat is sent into the wilderness to Azazel, and through the ceremony of laying on hand by the priest and people, the goat is sent away, bearing the sins of the people. This reference only makes sense to the writer believe that Azazel was responsible for all human sins, and would bear the punishment for it, as the Book of Enoch declares. So there's only a couple more pages of this, so I'm just going over this real quick, just to show some parallels before we get into the Book of Enoch. In Genesis, it is Cain that bears sin into the wilderness. However, we will see that there are connections between the fallen angels and the descendant of Cain. The problem with such a connection between Enoch and Genesis is that it does not point to the direction of the transmission. We now can be reasonably sure that Enoch and Genesis are connected, but we cannot be certain which came first. The best evidence we have for the undisputed authenticity of First Enoch is not the connection to Genesis, but the faith Yahusha and the apostles had in the book of Enoch, demonstrated by various references and quotes. There's hundreds of them. And it's hard to avoid the evidence that Yahusha not only studied the book, but also respected it highly enough to allude to its doctrine and content. Enoch is replete with mentions of the coming kingdom and other holy themes. It was not only Yahusha who used phrases or ideas from Enoch. There are over 100 comments in the New Testament which find precedence in the book of Enoch. As we begin looking for connections between the words of or about Yahusha and those of Enoch, we cannot look for exact matches. It is possible that what was originally spoken by these men was very close in wording or exact meaning, but after divergent paths of transmission and translations through various languages and cultures, they arrive here in the 21st century, and with many alterations, like the child's game of telephone, exact wording has been somewhat altered. So let us look at general ideas within passages. And that's the whole thing with all these different Bibles and different copies, and they described it perfectly. It's like that game of telephone, where you whisper into the ear of the next person, and so on, and by the last person it's completely changed. So that's why we have to be Bereans and study more than just one specific copy. And they can all lead you to the path, but the more you have and the more you study and the more entomology, which is the study of language, that you know, the more a whole lot of things will make sense. That's why I tell everybody, just test everything, do your own studies. Anyway, so these are going to be some of the comparisons between Yahusha and Enoch. So, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5. In Enoch 5:7, and all the elect shall rejoice, and there shall be forgiveness of sins, and mercy and peace, and forbearance and joy. There shall be salvation for them, like and a good light. And then John 5:22, the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son. And Enoch 69 verse 27, and he sat at the throne of his glory, and the sum of judgment was given to the Son of Man. Matthew 19:16. Now a man came up to Yahusha and asked, Teacher, what good thing must I do to get eternal life? And Yahusha said, And everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or fathers or mother or children or fields for my sake will receive 100 times as much and will inherit eternal life. In Enoch chapter 40 verse 9, who is set over the repentance and those who hope to inherit eternal life? In Luke 6:24, Woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Enoch 94:8. Woe to you, you rich, for you have trusted in your riches, and from your riches shall you depart, because you have not remembered the Most High in the days of your riches. In Matthew 19:28, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. In Enoch 108 verse 12. And I will bring out shining light those who have loved my holy name, and I will set each on the throne of his honor. And these will be the last ones here, and then we'll get into Enoch. So Matthew 26:24. Woe unto that man through whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. In Enoch 38:2. Where will be the dwelling for sinners, and where will be their resting place for those who have denied Yahuwah Sevaot? It has been good for them if they had not been born. And there's so many more, hundreds of them. And I would get into all of them right now, but we're going to get into the book of Enoch. I don't want to bore too many with me going into all the comparisons. I can do a whole hour and a half, 2-hour episode on that. But we'll do that as we go through the book itself. And then, so this will be from the Sefer of the prophet Enoch, also called the book of the prophet Enoch. So, chapter 1. The word of the blessing of Enoch, how he blessed the elect and the righteous, who were to exist in the time of trouble, rejecting all the unrighteous and wicked. Enoch, a righteous man, who with Elohim answered and spoke. While his eyes were open, he saw a holy vision in the heavens. This angel showed me. From them I heard all things and understood what I saw. That which will not take place in this generation, but in a generation which is to succeed at a distant period on account of the elect. So he's talking about us right here. Echad Squad. This is us. This book is for us. This is why so many who have no understanding want to reject it and throw it out, because they know it has important information. And upon their account I spoke and conversed with him who will go forth from his habitation, and the Holy and Mighty One, the Elohim of the world, who will hereafter tread upon Mount Sinai, appear with his hosts, and be manifested in the strength of his power from heaven. And all shall be afraid, and the watchers be terrified. Great fear and trembling shall seize them, even to the ends of the earth. The lofty mountains shall be troubled, and the exalted hills depressed, melting like a honeycomb in the flame. The earth shall be immerged, and all things which are in it perish, while judgment shall come upon all, even upon all the righteous. But to them shall he give peace. He shall guard the elect, and towards them exercise clemency. Then shall all belong to Yahweh. Be happy and blessed, and the splendor of Yahweh shall illuminate them. So this is talking about when the New Jerusalem comes down, and the whole heaven and earth is renewed into one. Already the first chapter it's aligning. So chapter 2. Behold, he comes with 10,000s of his Kodashim to execute judgment upon them, and destroy the wicked, and reprove all the carnal, for everything which the sinful and wicked have done and committed against him. In chapter 3. All who are in heavens know what is transacted, that the heavenly luminaries change not their paths, that each rises and sets regularly, every one as at its proper period, without transgressing the commands. They behold the earth and understand what is there transacted from the beginning to the end of it, that every work of Elohim is invariable in the period of its appearance. They behold the summer and winter, that the whole earth full of water, and that the cloud, the dew, and the rain refresh it. Chapter 4. Yeah, these are pretty short chapters at first. They consider and behold every tree, how it appears to wither, and every leaf to fall off, except of 14 trees, which are not deciduous, which wait from the old to the appearance of the new, for 2 or 3 winters. So if you go and look, there's 14 different species of evergreen trees. How did Enoch know that back in thousands of years ago? He didn't actually. Yahweh showed him. Chapter 5. Again, they consider the days of summer, and the sun is upon it, at its very beginning, while you seek for a covered and shady spot on account of the burning sun, while the earth is scorched up with fervid heat, and you become incapable of walking either upon the ground or upon the rocks, in consequence of that heat. Chapter 6. They consider how the trees, when they put forth their green leaves, become covered and produce fruit, understanding everything, and knowing that he who lives forever does all these things for you, that the works at the beginning of every existing year, that all his works are subservient to him, and invariable, yet as Elohim has appointed, so are all the things brought to pass. They see too how the seas and rivers together complete their respective operations. You endure not patiently, nor fulfill the commandments of Yahweh, but you transgress and culminate greatness. And malignant are the words in your polluted mouths against his majesty. You withered in heart, no peace shall be to you. Therefore your days shall you curse, and the years of your lives shall perish. Perpetual execration shall be multiplied, and you shall not obtain mercy. In those days shall you resign your peace with eternal maledictions of all the righteous, and sinners shall perpetually execrate you. This is exactly what's happening now. You with the wicked, the elect, shall possess light, joy, and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. But you unholy, shall be accursed. Then shall wisdom be given to the elect, all of whom shall live, and not again transgress by impiety or pride, but shall humble themselves, possessing prudence. and shall not repeat transgression. They shall not be condemned the whole period of their lives, not die in torment and in indignation, but the sum of their days shall be completed, and they shall grow old in peace, while the years of their happiness shall be multiplied with joy and with peace forever, the whole duration of their existence. Chapter 7. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that the daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the watchers, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, Come, let us select for ourselves women from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. Then their leader, Semjaza, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for such a grievous crime. But they answered him and said, We all swear, and bind ourselves by mutual execration, that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execration. Their whole number was 200, who descend upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Hermon, which is also that little mountain that the stars go around on the movies. And those stars are also the fallen angels. Anyway, that mountain therefore was called Hermon, because they had sworn upon it, and bound themselves by mutual execration. These are the names of their chiefs: Semjaza, who was their leader. This is the fun part. Urakakabamel, Akiabel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, Azkael, Sarkanael, Aziel, Armers, Batrael, Anain, Zavabi, Samzavel, Yaturael, Turel, Yomael, Ariazel. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. These were the leaders. I know I probably butchered some of those names. Forgive me. They're fallen angels anyway, oh well. Then they took women, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabitated, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth Nephilim. And they bore to them 3 races. First, the great Nephilim. The Nephilim brought forth the Nephilim, and the Nephilim brought forth the Iliad. And we kind of went over this, I think it was in Jubilees actually. And they existed, increasing in power, according to their greatness, whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all the labor of men, until it became impossible to feed them. When they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, and to eat one another's flesh, and to drink their blood, and the earth reproved the unrighteous. So right there actually says they sinned against the birds and the beast. I don't know why Dr. Pigeon doesn't think they had sex with animals there. I don't know why. It's pretty obvious they had sex with animals and created all these gods and all that you see in Egypt and Babylon, etc., etc. But all the other copies you'll see that they sinned with the animals. Anyway, I'm just giving my 2 cents here every now and then, so hope you don't mind. It's just what I do. Alright. So, chapter 8. Moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, and the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets, and ornaments, and the use of paint, and the beautifying of the eyebrows, and stones of every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. Exactly what's going on today, Mishpaha. Impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Just like today. Just repeats itself. Amazarach taught all the sorcerers and division of roots. Armors the solution to the sorceries. Barkael, the observers of the stars. Achabiel, the signs. Tamiel taught astronomy. And Asaridiel taught the motion of the moon. Look at that. And men, being destroyed, cried out, and their whole voice reached to heaven. So, those of y'all who claim Enoch supports following the moon, we're going to get into that, and I'm going to show how it absolutely does not. This is the first key sign right here. Who taught following the moon? One of the fallen angels. So if you're barking at the moon for a Shabbat, that's a no-no. And I'm tired of that disgusting doctrine. And I'm sick of it confusing everybody. And I rebuke all who follow that. And I pray you find the seventh day is what is called Saturday today. Anyone who preaches a different doctrine is not of the Spirit. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm rebuking all who are following that disgusting satanic doctrine. We don't bark at the moon. We're not creatures of the night. Disgusting. Causing fights and separation over it. Even just the calendar issues causing fights. Your calendar is a week different from mine. How dare you? Really? Then you get to tag 5 people to come against me? You know who I'm talking about. Don't know if you're listening. Probably not. Because you're of Hasatan, hiding in the shadows. Looking to pounce on anyone who has the slightest difference. Disgusting. That's so rampant. I rebuke all of that. My apologies. I'm going off. Check the chat. Chris, FEMA Region 4. If not sex, then definitely a GMO animal splicing. Yeah. But then again, we're told not to lay with animals. Exactly. I think they did both, honestly. They had sex with them and mutated their DNA. So, I think it was like a mix of both. In my opinion. Anyway. Let's continue on here. So, chapter 9. Then Michael and Gabriel and Raphael, Suriel and Uriel looked down from the heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on the earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, and said to one another, the voice of their cries, the earth deprived has cried even to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O you Holy One of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, bring judgment to us from El Elyon. And they say to their Adonai, the King, Adonai, Ha Adonim, Elohai, Ha Elohim, Malik Ha Melekim. The throne of your glory is forever and ever is your name, sanctified and glorified. You are blessed and glorified. Praise Yahweh. I just had to add that. You have made all things. You possess power over all things. And all things are open and manifest before you. You behold all things, and nothing can be concealed from you. You have seen what Azazel has done, and how he has taught every species of iniquity upon the earth. And he disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens. Shemjaza also taught sorcery, to whom you have given authority over those who are associated with him. They have gone together to the daughters of men, and have laid with them, and have become polluted. They have revealed their sins to them. The women likewise have brought forth Nephilim. Thus has the whole earth been filled with blood and with iniquity. And now behold, the souls of those who are dead cry out, and complain even to the gate of heaven. Their groaning ascends, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. You know all things before they exist. You know these things, and what has been done by them. Yet you do not speak to us. What on account of these things ought we to do then? Just double checking. Alright, so we're going to kind of pause it right there for this evening. I should have actually read those other comparisons. That's what I was planning on doing. Oh well. I just kind of wanted to jump into it. But yeah, first 10 chapters, well, 9. Yeah, exactly, Brother Chris. We may not follow the same calendar, and that's fine. But you're not coming at me attacking and then tagging 5 other people to come attack me as well on a post that I said, please no fighting. Because, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That was one who earned my number 1 block. A sister I'd known for years just attacked me because our calendars were literally a week apart. And I had the audacity to ask, when do you intercalate? Oh, don't ask that, apparently. That's hate and causing division and this and that, apparently. You know, I don't get it. People will be coming to my post, attacking me, being passive aggressive, like attitudes, all that. And like, I see it. I know it. By the first question they ask, I could see what's going to happen. I was like, you know, I rarely go to anyone else's post. They're all coming to me. Which I think Yahuwah, he shows me. And he has these people show their fruits. They can blame me all they want. That's fine. Do I have an attitude? I sure do. because when you go against his word and then try to flip it on me in some narcissistic way, like, yeah. Or you're gonna come at me when you don't know me and just kind of degrade me because of a post like on Facebook. Like, disgusting people, man. Like, ugh. I'm gonna keep fighting though. Trust me, you ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep posting on Facebook. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing about it. All you haters. To all my family, my brothers, my sisters, all of you in chat right now, I love you all. I love you all no matter what, really. I love all of you guys. Just some of you I'm gonna have to love from while you're way over there. Honestly. Like, little differences and you're allowing separation. Yeah, I'll tag you next time. I just get so in the mood, like, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Alyssa. People have forgotten how to love and how to do things in love. Yeah, it's made me back off social media as well, because it is so draining. But you know what? I'm not going to allow them to drain me anymore. It's disgusting. I'm going to rebuke. I'm going to be cracking whips. I'm going to be overturning tables. Because there are wolves. And there are too many of them. And they're just being allowed to just be run ravenous and rampant. And confusing all these newcomers and scaring them away. And just trashing people because of this difference and that difference. You know what? I'm after all of you. And guess what? Come at me and say what you want. I don't care. I care what Yahweh thinks. I care about Yahweh's truth. I don't care about being correct. I don't care about these 20 different videos that you got your doctrine off of, that because I don't watch it, all of a sudden I'm just unwilling to learn. Like, get that out of here. Get that garbage out of here. When I say 20, over 20 times, that, look, I've studied this. I don't need to watch your video on it. And then get upset because I don't watch your video. Why should I watch your video if you don't watch mine? You know what? You're petty. Get out of here. You're blocked. Claim and set apart. Lynette. My number one block. For real. Sister I've known 3 years. Attacked me. Then straight up tagged 5 other people to come attack me as well. On a post that I said, please do not argue. I'm just posting this to show what I found. Then attacks me in personal messages. After tagging 5 people to come attack me, I just had to delete the whole thread. Like, it was disgusting. And then to leave the conversation and unfriend me. Like, no, you got blocked, girl. And it's venomous wolves. Like that. They'll hide in the shadows. Like I said, I've known her for years. They'll wait to pounce on the slightest difference. Oh, your clock's 2 hours different from mine? How dare you? You're of a different spirit. You know what? We're supposed to be coming together in love under Messiah. If you're going to be over here nitpicking petty differences and causing separation because of that, goodbye. I've had it up to here with these people. And to those of you that stick with me and support me and send me private messages supporting me, I absolutely thank you. They're from the bottom of my heart. People like me, they don't get enough appreciation and they get a lot of hate. And I don't do anything to hate. I do everything in love. But Messiah said, to preach his truth, you will be hated. But yeah. Yeah. Making coffee on Shabbat. Watch out. You better not do anything but lay in your bed and look up at the ceiling on Shabbat, or you're of Satan. Like, ugh. It's just the things that scriptures aren't real clear about. Like the calendar thing. In my opinion, if you read Jubilees and Enoch, it's pretty clear. But I understand, not everyone wants to follow this, that calendar, that, and they have their own calendars. I get that. I'm not making a big deal out of it. I just wanted to show what calendar I follow. And whoever was interested, that's fine. I didn't post it for this person to come and say, oh, you're wrong, you're off, you're this and you're that, and you have a different spirit. Ugh. That ain't gonna stop me, though. Guess what? I was attacked pretty hard the last couple weeks, to be honest. And it was bringing me down. It was bringing me down. Be kind of open with everybody. I was kind of talking to this girl. And we had been talking for a while. And just out of nowhere, just stopped talking to me. And then she kind of did it a lot. But she just stopped talking to me. And then for like 3 days, no response, just out of nowhere. One day I was like, hey, how's it going? We're having a good conversation. And then all of a sudden, just no response. Mid-conversation for 3 days. So, of course, I get worried and upset. And I say things, but like, I just think I feel like I'm used like a lot. Not by everybody. Like a lot of you here in chat. You, Mindy. Yes, I love you as well. Chris, Alyssa. You guys, you're my Echad squad. For real. And there's many more of you. I know there is. And I know I get shadow banned a lot, so there's a lot of people that don't even realize I have a YouTube channel. Because seriously, every day I'll get message like, oh, I didn't know you had a YouTube. What's the link? Even though I post videos of my channel every day. It's just, whatever. Anyway. Like, I just want to share things in love. I want everybody to test everything for their own. Just don't be following this person or that person blindly. Don't be hating on somebody because their clock's 5 minutes different than yours. If they have this opinion and you have this opinion and scriptures isn't 100% concrete on it, why cause a separation? Just let it go. Like, there's obviously, one of the things is worldly people are easier to talk to than most of the Torah community. Thank all you guys. It is a hard walk, trust me. It's not easy. And I cry and I beg and I pray to him daily. And it gets hard. But I thank all you guys who do support me. And then it's just, I don't know. We just got to do things in love and love each other. And stop allowing the spirit of separation to run rampant. Stop allowing these wolves to preach these false preachings and teachings. Scriptures is really 100% clear on we are not children of the night. We don't follow the moon for Sabbath. It doesn't describe phases of the moon for weekly Shabbats. Like, we can all agree on that. Whatever calendar you follow, we can all agree. The moon is not to be barked at on Shabbat. Like, and it's not this Tuesday, and then the next week it's Wednesday, then the next week it's Monday, and then how is that 7 days? Like, someone tried to tell me the math on that, and then said, oh, can you count days? I was like, can you count days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every 7. Not this Tuesday. Oh, wait, this Wednesday. Oh, that Friday. No, wait, we're going back to Monday this time. Confusing. And Yah is not the author of confusion. You got these wolves out here barking and preaching to bark at the moon. And then you got all these followers that follow them. And as soon as you say something bad about you shouldn't follow the moon for Shabbat, oh, they're going off on you and blocking you. We're not the same spirit. Look, I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to get you out of that satanic doctrine that you have followed men to. Claim that you don't follow men all you like. You do. I could see it. You're posting videos instead of responding with scriptures. Yes, I post videos, but they're my own videos that I've already made responses to. That's the whole difference. I'm not posting this guy and that guy's video. Granted, there are a couple I do. But these are ones that I've tested, and they pretty much explain everything that I'm going to explain anyway. So no, your trash and garbage videos that I don't want to watch are not going to change my mind. Sorry. Go cry. Go get booty hurt and go cry to your fellow moon barkers or whatever, dude. Too many people getting booty hurt over too many things. We're not called to be offended by everything. Oh my God, he said ass. Guess what? Ass is in the Bible. So is whore. So is harlot. So is bastard. So is vipers and snakes and wolves. Too many people tripping. Thank you guys. Yeah, ask a child when a day starts. For real. That's the whole thing. These people out here claiming they got knowledge. Oh, I've been doing it 40, 50 years. You have no idea, son. Guess what? Where in scriptures does it say, well, he's been doing it 40 years. You better listen to him. Nope. It says test everything to his word. Yes, respect your elders. Doesn't mean they're going to be right. You can respect somebody and disagree. And you can have more knowledge than someone who is older than you. I see it all the time. Trust me. I'm not saying I know everything. I absolutely don't. Yahweh shows me everything. And it's just... yeah. There's too much garbage that needs to be burned and whipped and cast out. Truly. Too many wolves gnarling and showing their teeth. Then they'll flip it on you like a narcissist. That's that demon. Whatever. I pray for everybody, really. And those who don't agree with me, that's fine. I can still love you. And we can still be family. But if you're going to hate, I'm going to have to love you from over there while you're blocked. Because you're going to be a negative influence on me. And just bring me down. And cause me to be upset. And then I have to go and pray because I was upset and said things in anger. So, to avoid all that, I'm just going to start blocking and erasing negative comments. Enough said. Don't like what I got to say. Keep scrolling. Thank you for those who support me, though. I love it. I love all of you. Yeah, shalom, brother. I'm actually about to end it right now as well. I just kind of rambled on there for a bit. I just had a rough 2 weeks. I had to get a little bit out. There has been those who I've talked to that I've gotten things out. Thank you for being there, Mindy, Alyssa. Both of you, really. You're really the only two I talked to. Honestly. There's a couple other ones I talked to, but when I get a message from you, your guys' I'm answering you first. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I hope I didn't go too long on my rant and rave. It had to be said. I just had to get it out. But that's just how I am. I'm Irish. Please like and subscribe and share. It helps with the shadow bans, and it helps get it past those shadow bans. And join me next week. We're going to do part 2. Hopefully we're going to dive into some more chapters. And we're going to get into a lot of context. So thank you all. Thank you for joining me. I love you all. I hope you have a blessed evening, a blessed week. We will see you next week, Mishpacha. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I love you all.